G'day, and it is time for another one. This time, it's Journey to Rhosgobel. Now, I've finally got some new packs, and let's see how we go. Let's try and be a bit quicker this time, see if I can get it underneath 20 minutes for starters. First, we have Prince... how do you pronounce that? Imrahil. Prince Imrahil. And he's our new hero, and he is a leadership hero. Awesome. Response. After character leaves play, ready Prince Imrahil. Limit once per round. Well, all I have to say is that card is spectacularly awesome. He's got an attack of 3, he can quest for 2, and you can ready him very, very easily. I've said it every single video. Readying characters is an extremely powerful effect. I think this guy is probably one of the best heroes I've opened so far. I'm very impressed with this guy. He is making it into one of my decks. And what's interesting about him is that he's more powerful the more players you have, because that's the more chances that characters are going to be leaving that round. What would be interesting about him is exactly how the turn orders work, because when you're getting attacked by monsters, you're getting attacked by the card that has the highest threat first. So really planning through the combat sequence, like especially if you're not first player, because the other people are going to get their turns, and planning which cards are going to die to allow this guy to untap, and it's a pity it's only once per turn, but once per round, but I think it would be a bit OP if it wasn't. So very, very cool. Impressed with him. Duodane's Quest. Okay, this is just yet another one of these. If we get one of these for every single type of character, I'm actually going to be a bit disappointed. Attached hero gets +1 will. Okay, so this is the third card. We've had the attack, we've had the defense, and now we have the will card. Now, there's not much to say that I haven't said before. I did check it with the rules and some people on Board Game Geeks, and it does turn out that you can actually swap these cards after the shadow cards have been revealed, and even after a combat stage between each individual character. So I'll put a link to that in the last video, that correction, so you should keep an eye on that. But otherwise, I don't like these cards in my deck. Well, not so much my deck. They're good in my deck. They're good. I use the one that gives defense in one of my 2-player decks. I play a support deck, and my mate plays the deck that does the attacking, and I use the +1 to buff his people, because I usually have no one, because my threat's really low and I'm doing all the questing, and I just buff the hell out of his creatures. And these work very, very well in that deck. But at the same time, what I don't like about these cards is that I know what they are. The last couple of packs, I knew I was going to get these cards because, it was obvious when we got the second one that this was going to be the third pack. So it's like, took a little surprise out of opening the pack. But yeah, +1 will, can't complain. Okay, parting gifts. Action. Move any number of resource tokens from a leadership hero's resource pool. Well, actually, I read that wrong. Let me start again, because it's important definition here. Move any number of resource tokens from a resource pool of a hero with a leadership icon to any other hero's resource pool. That's what this card should actually read. Because what it means is that if you have a resource icon on your hero, and remember those songs that allow us to add extra icons to people, you can then transfer resources. This is got 0 to cast. This is a powerful card. I'm not 100% sure exactly where this will be going, but if you've got Steward of Gondor and you've got resources up the wazoo, this is a card you have to have, because it allows you to transfer those to other my cat's attacking my feet. Stop it! It allows you to transfer those resources to another character, and that often happens. Anyone, have you been playing, once you have Steward of Gondor up, you find that you have so many resources, just like resources you'll never spend on whoever's that's attached to, and this allows you to transfer them off. And even better, it's at action speed, which means that you only need to transfer them off when you need them. You can move them at any time you can do an action. So, I mean, that card is fantastic. More eagles. I really want the eagle deck to be a thing, and it looks like that they're trying to do the same, but not yet. This is a unique card. What's his name? Landraville. Well, that'll do. Landraville. He's a creature and he's an eagle, and he has Sentinel, but he cannot have restricted attachments. After a hero card is destroyed, return Landraville to his owner's hand and put that hero back into play with 1 damage token on it. Limit once per game. Wow. Okay, so that's basically a second life for your hero. He is very expensive. He's 5 to play. So that is an extremely expensive card. Limit once per game. Limit once per game is a bit unfortunate, but at the same time, basically having a second life for a hero, fantastic. Remember that the hero does die though, so you'll lose all your resources, you'll lose all your attachments. He'll just come back. But then again, this means that you can, if you've got the resources, you can put him out. You know, I'm not sure whether I like this more or less than the Spirit 5 mana return a hero to the battlefield from the graveyard. This one seems a little bit worse. Oh, I don't know. Well, it's hard to say. They're both very expensive. The other one, though, allows you to continually spend resources on other things. But of course, when your hero dies, you might not have the resources to actually cast it. While this one uses those resources straight away. So you cast it and you don't actually get any result for that cast. But at the same time, once you cast it, the save game, you know, like the extra life is in place. This is a card that looks like it should be awesome, but I'm not convinced. I would need to play with this card. I do hope that the Eagle deck becomes a thing, and I want to try it out. I was listening to Cardboard of the Rings, actually, and one of the guys on there said a funny thing about how it's going to be funny if the Eagle deck does become a thing, because people are going to take it into the Mines of Moria and have all these giant eagles swooping around inside Moria is just a bit thematically stupid. Next we have an event card called To the Ire. Response. After an ally is destroyed, exhaust one Eagle character to move that ally from the discard pile to its owner's hand. Interesting. So this is kind of like basically casting an unsummon when your creature's about to die. What is interesting though is, I can't remember the other card, but there was another card that had a similar kind of thing. Born Aloft. Okay, there's a card called Born Aloft which allows you to discard an attachment and bring your creature back into your hand. But the thing about that card was that you didn't have time... Ow! Ouch! Get off me, you pussycat! I'll play with you in a sec. You don't have the ability to actually take damage. But this card lets you actually take the damage. While Born Aloft, it clears damage off your people, but it also would... You also can't do that discard, you know, as well as the damage. You know, like if the damage was going to kill your creature, you know, like if it was more than his defense, Born Aloft wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't get time to use it. What the hell is going on? Go away, cat. Well, I think this is a good card for tactics. I mean, like I said, I'm not really up on the tactics deck. It seems pretty interesting, but it is conditional. You know, like you have to have an eagle in play. I can see this is the kind of... Oh, hang on. It doesn't say it has to be your ally. This is another card that would be very, very good in doubles or better. This allows you to save people... Oh, no, I think this is actually a pretty good card. I think its conditional nature of having to have an eagle in play is a little bit of a letdown, but all in all, that's a good card. I think this isn't as good as Born Aloft, which is a very similar card. It does have a slightly different function, being that you can use your ally to absorb the damage before you bring it back, but Born Aloft does have some other uses which this card can't. Interesting card. That's you know, not too impressed, but it's all right. Escort from Endorus. Okay, willpower 2, nice. While committed to a quest, Escort for Medoris gets +2 will. Wow, 4 will. That's huge. Huge. Forced. After resolving a quest in which Escort from Adoris was committed, discard Exhaust Adoris from play. Interesting. I love this card. This card goes perfectly with that leadership hero we just saw. He taps in, he gets 4 will, which is huge for the questing. You tap in with that other guy. He had 2 will, so that's 6 will just with those 2 cards. He gets discarded, and that hero then readies and can attack or defend. Very, very good. I think that's awesome card. Yeah, I love this one. Ancient Methan. Attached to location. Interesting. After attached location is explored, the first player draws 3 cards. Well, I mean, there's no reason you would ever not play this in your deck. Card draw is awesome effect. If you don't happen to have a Beravor or a Bilbo in the field, this is a great card. And it's a great card anyway. It's like a little reward for doing your quest. It costs 1, doesn't really soak up your resources. Awesome card. Like that. Haldir of Lorien. 2 quests, 2 attack, 2 defense. Holy jeebus. Ah, it's unique, that's why. 3 defense, not too good there. Ranged and Sentinel. Wow. That's a pretty amazing card. Not too interesting for solo play. It is expensive at 4. Yes. Sentinel means that it can actually defend other people's cards. Cards attacking other people. I'm fairly certain it means you can either add the defense to the other guy's defense, or I'll look it up. Hang on. Yeah, so I just checked. It doesn't add its defense, it's just defense. It's just like he can defend as if you were using him on another player. Interesting. And range, we all know what range means. Range means that you can attack other players' creatures. And of course the attack does stack. Infighting. Action. Move any number of damage tokens from one enemy to another. Okay, this is a very interesting card. Why would I ever want to do this? I can't think of a situation off the top of my head. I guess if there's a creature on board that's more deadly somehow, you can kill it with this card. This card has a very interesting effect and it looks powerful, but at this moment, I'm not really sure of what situation you'd really want to use this in. The only thing I can think of off the top of my head really quickly is that you have X amount of damage on one creature and then a new one's revealed from the encounter deck that you really, really dislike. And you just say, well, that's so much more dangerous, but we can kill it, or at least almost kill it with this card. That's the only use I see for it. Is there any other tricks? I think possibly in the future. This is the kind of card that has a very interesting effect, and if they bring out another card that can synergize with this somehow, we'll have to check this out. Okay, interesting card, but beyond my scope of knowledge at this moment. I just don't know what it can really do. Radagast. Nice. Why Radagast is an ally? I guess Gandalf is an ally. Radagast is kind of like Gandalf. He's the same order. He was left out of the movies. Yeah, he's a powerful dude. 2/1/1. I don't know why he's quite that weak. He costs 5. Radagast collects 1 resource each resource phase. Then these resources can be used to pay for creature cards played from your hand. Action. Spend X resources from Radagast's pool to heal X wounds on any one creature. Wow. Okay, so that eagle deck I was talking about is looking a little cooler. This is definitely a card for that. He's 5 to get out, which is pretty expensive, but you know, he gains his own resources to cast for other creatures, and he can heal creatures. Creature deck. If you're going to make a creature deck, then this is the card you want. He's expensive though. I think this guy's very cool. I think he's a little. He's not really that good at the moment because there isn't really the card variety of creatures to make this card awesome. But as we get more creatures and the creature deck becomes more and more viable, then this card I think is going to end up a must-have. It really looks like a powerful card. Right, so that's it for this deck. Okay, now, as per request, this time I'm going to look at the quest cards first, so I have some kind of understanding of what the cards are going to be when I draw them. Okay, 1A. Search the encounter get for Rhosgobel and Windalore, and add them to the staging area with 2 damage tokens on Windalore. Then shuffle the encounter deck. And there's no effect on 1B. Interesting. 2A, nothing. Response. After the quest phase begins, the first player may place X damage tokens on Windalore to look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Reveal and add one of these cards to the staging area and discard the other 2. X is the number of players in the game. Okay, so put 2 damage tokens on Windalore, or how many players in the game, and you can scry through the encounter deck, actually discarding ones you don't like. That is an incredibly powerful effect. Interesting. Forced. After a card effect heals Windalore, remove that card from the game. Wow. That's very interesting. So basically it exiles any card that heals Windalore. Doesn't make your Daughters of whatever their name is feel that good, because if they cast they heal, they come off the table. Okay, nothing on 3A. What's on 3B? When revealed, heal 5 wounds from Windalore for each Atlas object card the players control. If Windalore is completely healed when the effect resolves, Windalore survives and the players have won the game. Otherwise, the players have lost the game. Whoa. That's interesting. Okay, so 12 tokens. Let's find Windalore, and where is he? Here he is. Wounded Eagle. At the end of each round, Windalore suffers 2 damage. Windalore cannot be healed by more than 5 wounds in a single effect. If Windalore dies or leaves play, the players have lost the game. Interesting. First player is given control of Windalore as an ally. Okay, this is interesting. This is actually quite interesting. Basically, Quest 2B, you can't complete this quest too early. If this guy has more than 5 damage tokens on him when you complete this quest, that is it. You lose. That's very, very interesting. Like, you've actually got to try and not complete this quest. And every time you use a heal spell, it gets exiled from the game. Is that right? Yep, exiled from the game. And you can use that scry. Wow, this is an interesting quest. I can't wait to play this. But anyway, here's Windalore. Here's our ally, 1/1/1. He doesn't really do much. He just got that scry ability, which is really awesome, and we need to heal him. He's obviously bleeding to death from that arrow in the face. So, yeah, keep him alive. I guess we have to make lots of lore decks. Okay, no, I read that wrong. He's healed 5 for every one of these you control. Okay, so we don't want to complete the quest 2B until we have a couple of these. Because you have 2 of these, is healed for 10. Interesting. Okay, this is a very interesting quest. I think I'm going to like this quest. And this is just your standard objective card. It's guarded, so you pull another encounter card. Interesting. Excellent. And this is Rhosgobel. X is the number of players in the game. While Rhosgobel is in the staging area, Windalore cannot be healed. Travel. Players must complete stage 1 of the quest before they can travel to Rhosgobel. Interesting. So, 2-player game, say. This is 2 threat. It's 4 to quest 2, but it's going to be 2 threat for the entire first round. So you want to quest through the first section as quickly as possible, and then try and slow down your questing in stage 2 until you've found all these healing spells. Very, very interesting quest. This is very cool one. I'm pretty excited to play this. Forest Grove. Threat of 2, not too worrying about that. 3 to quest, it's a pretty standard location. Response. After the players explore Forest Grove, search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 Atlas object and add it to the staging area, then shuffle your encounter deck. Excellent. I was wondering about this. I thought that scry ability was the way that you had to get those healing objects. You have to scry through the encounter deck at the risk of damage. But no, you can get these as well. And there are, what, 5 of them. So, that's pretty, yeah, 5? No, 4 of them. There's 4 of them. So there's 8 ways to get those objects out of the deck. You can draw the objects, I think there's 5, I don't know, you can draw the objects, you can get them through this way, so it doesn't look as hard as I thought it was. Oh. Exhaustion. When revealed, deal 2 damage to each exhausted character. Wow. Vicious. Not a lot to say about that. It's just a reveal effect. It can be cancelled. Shadow. Deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. Okay, that's pretty bad. This isn't an encounter card that I find incredibly intimidating. There are a lot of ways to cancel when revealed effects, so that's not too worrying. The shadow effect is a little more dangerous because you plan your attack, you plan your defense, you go, okay, I'm probably not going to die from this attack. Oh wait, shadow, I've got 1 extra damage, I'm dead. So that's not too cool. Swarming insects. When revealed, deals 1 damage to each character without any attachments. Shadow. If a character, including Windalore, has more damage than each other character, deal 3 additional damage to that character. Wow, that shadow effect is brutal. Hopefully Windalore will be able to suck that up. But, yeah, I guess if Windalore's got the damage, and just keep your damage under Windalore, and Windalore at some kind of manageable level, then this card isn't too bad at all. Deal 1 damage to each character without any attachments. Again, this doesn't scare me too much. It's not good, doesn't scare me. Well, none of the encounter deck is going to be good. It's about whether it wrecks you or not. Festering Wounds. When revealed, deal 2 damage to each wounded character. Okay, now this one worries me. Shadow. Deal 1 damage to each wounded character. 2 if the attack is undefended. 2 damage is a lot. If they're already wounded and 2 damage on top, I mean, this could wreck the board. Festering Wounds. There's 2 of them in the encounter deck. This alone is worth having Eleanor, I think her name is, just so you can be sure to cancel this effect if it turns up, because that is a bad effect. Evilly bad. Mirkwood Flock. Creature. Only eagle characters or characters with range can attack or defend against Mirkwood Flock. Okay, well that is crazy. That's a crazy card. I say, what? Shadow. If this attack is undefended, the damage must be placed on Windalore. Okay, well basically you have to have eagles or ranged characters in one of the players. One of the players has to have ranged or eagles, and then use those to engage these people at will if the other player doesn't. That's the only way around it. Bizarre. That's a bizarre card. Only eagle characters or characters with range can attack or defend against the Black Forest bats. And again, damage must be placed on Windalore. Okay, so the shadow effects of these 2 aren't too worrying, but yeah, that is very weird that you need to have ranged or eagles to kill these 2 creatures, so hopefully I would. Oh, that's it for the encounter deck. Journey to Rhosgobel, that's it. Here are my favourite cards from the pack, and it was pretty hard to pick these because this is a very good pack. I mean, that new Ranger girl is extremely good, but yeah, I mean, these are the cards that interest me the most. The Prince Imrahil, I mean, fantastic. I just think he's going in my deck straight away. I'm just going to put him straight in there. I think his effects are great, and we'll have to see how many effects I can get that bounce things off the table to really, utilize him, but he seems extremely powerful. This effect here combos perfectly with that Gondor card where you're getting all those resources, and resource management in this game is huge, so being able to swap your resources around, very, very powerful effect. I think that's amazing. And this card is a card that I don't really have anything amazing I can say about it, but this looks to me like a card that is going to be what I call a combo enabler. I've spoken about it in other ones. down the line we're going to find ways to synergize this card with other cards to do some pretty funky things for controlling the encounter deck's board. That's my prediction for this card, and I think that's quite interesting, so that interests me. As for the bad guys, this is the most interesting card for me for the bad guys. I just think it is extremely powerful, and this could absolutely wreck me. A lot of the other cards seem kind of cool and did some kind of cool things, but this is the card that I think is just scary. And for best art, I like this one of this guy trying to help his horse up that he's, obviously ridden very hard. I think that's a great drawing. I love horses. Yeah, very, very cool drawing if you're a little sad. Like, I know there's cancel effects that can cancel the when revealed, which doesn't make this as scary, but I just think this is a scary card. So that's my focus on these cards. This doesn't really do anything yet that I know of, except for the obvious, what it says on the card. But I think it's going to combo. That one is fantastic, and this guy is just powerful. I mean, wow, we got some good heroes. This guy and Frodo, they are beasts. Beastly. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time for the cracking of the Hills of Emyn Muil. And I'll see you later.